Oh yeah,
Hmm.
off cam. We better start that.
When I think of you,
Yeah.
my heart
Oh yes, it does.
remembers all the love we've ever had. All the love we've ever
Mm.
had. Just me and you.
Damn.
When I think of you,
Who am I? Cause I know I ain't this body for real. Now that I'm in the physical, it's hard to describe me for real. Trying to remember, but my real self hiding for real. Where you at? Come talk to me. Give me my knowledge. Cause the real shit that I'm really supposed to know, it ain't buried in no college. It ain't buried in no book. I won't hear it from no scholar. Put me up into the astro and grab me by the collar and then speak it into my ear. Even if you gotta holler, I want the cheat codes for this shit. Like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. Cause I'm tired of all the lessons. I'm tired of all the stressing. What's the point of being immortal if I'm always counting blessings? I'm done with all the extra testing. Shit, I'm trying to have fun, even if it's for a second. Give me a second. How dare I create myself outside of myself and still be myself? So my question is, what part of myself am I? Cause the thoughts that I be having running around in my mind, I don't think you motherfuckers really know God. Or do you? Or do you look in the mirror and be like, nigga, who you? Meditate, levitate, and see what you do. I need more people on this type of time, so I can get a blue clue. Running through this simulation, twisted off this juju. Forgetting that I am the only way I'm going cuckoo. So who am I? I'm you, even you too. So if I'm you too. Quit falling for this foo-foo. No separation from the creation, just like voodoo. Chasing your tail, who knew? Thinking out loud, talking to myself. I know you're listening, you probably think I got a screw loose.
just me and you. When I think of you.
Struggling to find quality entertainment? Discover Blackwire TV, the ultimate streaming service. Enjoy over 11,000 live channels, more than 24,000 new and classic movies, and 7,000 plus series at your fingertips. Experience thrilling live sports and exclusive free PPV events, all designed for non-stop entertainment. Experience unmatched convenience now. With Blackwire TV, every moment becomes a cinematic adventure. Transform your viewing experience with dynamic, high-energy content that keeps you engaged 24/7. Join Blackwire TV today and always have something extraordinary to watch.
I said, bow, right back on your ass. Yeah, we ain't playing. Yeah, we about to space. In this YouTube. We back. We had to double up on y'all this time. Back to back. Back to back. Tone, tell them we back to back.
We back. We back.
No,
Hey, I
talking
thought your
about.
screen was froze, man. I thought your screen was froze right there, man.
I like the delay. It had
Yeah, yeah,
flavor.
yeah.
I got flavor in my behavior. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right, right. No doubt. So yeah, man, once again, we back at it, man. I want to say, peace and blessings. And what we going with today, we're gonna go with understanding. Peace and blessing and understanding. Some say understanding meaning you standing under. I just want to say understanding is that you gaining some knowledge. So
Yeah.
peace and blessings and understanding to you and yours. Peace and blessing and understanding to the community, and peace and blessing and understanding to my family as well. Bro.
Peace and blessings, man. Peace and blessings, man. Ashe, brother, you already know. I gotta
Yes,
give
sir.
it back to you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank
So
you.
you see what the title is today, man. I think I hit you with one today with the
Yeah.
with the brain versus the mind.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did.
You
You
know,
hit me with one, and with that being said, uh, What do you think about the brain versus the mind? I'm gonna turn it around on you like you do me.
Well.
No. First and foremost,
All
you
right,
know,
all right.
let's
Cause you, the
yeah,
smooth dog.
let's bag up a little bit. Let's bag up a little bit,
Go
man. You
ahead.
know,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't want to just go straight into it like that
All
because
right.
uh I want to talk about the thumbnail. I want to talk about, like you said the brain versus the mind. And you're right. Uh Off camera, y'all, you know, we might chit chat throughout the day or something, you know, shoot the breeze, but he asked me, we talked about, well, he didn't ask me. He said the brain versus the mind. What you think about that?
Yep.
And it gave me pause, just like it did right then, because it to me is layered. And when you think about the brain, you many people think that the brain is them. Like
Mm,
they really think that the brain is it. So when he hit me with it, it made me regress and try to figure out where he was coming from with the brain versus the mind, because I asked some critical questions that we'll get into when we talked about the mind. And then to go off the thumbnail, you see that the brain side of the thumbnail is electrical, and the mind side is more. I don't have the thumbnail in front of my eyes, but and then the mind side is
they'll see the thumbnail soon. I still got to post it. You know, I can't
okay.
I can't put it up at the same time we go. That's stupid. I got to.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy.
Right. So the brain versus the mind, the brain being this glob of organ, it's an organ,
Hmm.
and you know, the mind being without giving it away already at the beginning of the show, the mind being maybe your thoughts. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I looked at it when you said it, and then that picture depicts that very essence of that. That picture depicts this electrical board box or this organ or this machine versus this body that's kind of in a astral type of existence, you know, more of a dreamy type of a state.
Indeed.
So yeah, so when you look at the brain versus the mind, is it what is it? You know, that's kind of like a great question. Like, what is it? You know, so I want to leave that with you, and I want to start off with the brain and ask you, what do we know about the brain? What is tell me something about the brain, bro?
All right, so
We can't hear you.
let me you can't hear me. You can't hear me now?
Yep, yep.
All right, cool. Let me break this down into, layman's terms. So when I think of the brain, I basically think of the software. All right. I mean, just put it like a computer. Well, not the software, the hardware. I'm sorry. It's the hardware. All right. And separate that from the mind. It's like that's the software. That is the programs that's running off the brain, aka the consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So the brain itself is it's working for your sensory system for the body, the heartbeat, the blink, the stuff that always in motion that where you don't have to actually do it. You know, how you breathe without thinking, how you blink what just when it's supposed to, how your heart keeps beating just like it's supposed to, all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's just the computer running. And then when you come with the mind, it's more of I downloaded YouTube and I'm running YouTube, like you said, like the thoughts. I'm typing something in. I'm running the search engine. That's how I look at it right there.
Okay, I want to back up because, like I said, for me, it is kind of a challenging and a challenge type of a topic.
Hmm.
So I want to back up and I want you to give me that understanding again of uh, the hardware and the software. Just that alone. You don't have to go through an analogy because I'm not a computer guy.
Yeah.
So
So
tell
so
me,
so hardware is the physical things. So let's just
like
say,
my mouse.
yeah, that's hardware. Hardware is the mouse, the monitor, the keyboard, the tower, all that type of stuff. The software is the stuff that's running off. You know, the software is like the program, like you download an app. The hard, let's use it as a phone. The hardware is the phone, and then the software is the apps you download.
Okay, let me ask you this question because of how you gave the example. Does the phone run the software or does the software run the phone?
The phone runs the software, but it depends though how you want to twist that. You feel what I'm saying? Like, because
Okay, time out,
right, yeah,
time out.
because that's what make it hard, because I see where you going with it, but it depends how you want to twist that too. You know what
Well, we gonna clarify. We gonna get some type of clarity today.
I mean? All right, I'm with it.
So let's leave that phone analogy to the side for a second.
Yeah,
Okay. Um, we have a car. We all drive cars.
yeah, yeah.
So the car, it has all the moving components. It has everything. Got fuel in it. It got the oil in it. It's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the hardware or the software?
So you said you got a car, it got the fuel in it, it's ready to go. The car is the hardware.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Now watch this. Now watch this. The car being the hardware and the phone being the hardware,
Mm-hmm.
the software, you said that the phone runs the software,
Yeah.
and we're gonna leave that one right there on the shelf.
Right.
Who is the car running in if it's the hardware? Who does the car run?
The car runs
Nobody.
nobody. Yeah, I'm about to say the
All
car
right.
runs nobody. Yeah.
All
The
right.
car the car
So
runs the extra hardware, the engine.
so
You know what I
the
mean?
so the vehicle that runs that hardware is what you would call the software, which is the mind.
Yeah. So the software, but the mind is deeper than the software too at the same time, because it takes your consciousness to control that car. So it go beyond, it go a little like the mind, it get twisted, it get tricky.
How? Let's explain it then. So once again, let's back up because if my consciousness is what we want to call the mind,
Mm-hmm.
and Hermeticism says the mind is all, and there's nothing else but the mind, and
Mm-hmm.
the vehicle being the brain,
Yeah.
that means that my consciousness or my software is always running my hardware. And what happens,
Mm-hmm.
what gets in the middle of that understanding is what we call the ego, and that's the mind. That mind says that the mind is all, but it's the ego mind. And when you say, "Oh, it's two of them," or it's kind of complicated, that's what you made me think of. You
Right.
made me think of the mind as two components, meaning it has the opportunity to run the software in a positive light, or it
Mm-hmm.
has the opportunity to run the software to run the hardware in a negative light.
Yeah.
So the mind has the capacity to absorb what this field is giving it, and we can also call that field the mind. So when you said that consciousness is bigger than the mind, I agree, because that field of understanding or that causal field is what we can call the mind of all.
Mm-hmm.
So then you said that that mind runs the vehicle. So if that mind is not absorbing the positive aspects of that conscious field, if that brain isn't absorbing the positive aspects of that conscious field, then that body results in infirmities, believe it or not.
Okay.
So I think that the brain is the bridge between the consciousness, which can be positive or negative.
that
And
makes that makes sense, because if we want to look, if we keep using that hardware software analogy, you had to download that app to learn how to drive.
Okay, let's take that a step further because I like that.
Yeah, that's a program of training.
Great. Let's stick to that analogy because that programming that you're saying can be social media, or it could be wise words spoken by a great person in your life. So if you're taking the wrong program, now what this brain does, it deciphers this program and now it puts it into the body through cortisol, through adrenaline, and these same things is what's actually start these electrical impulses because the brain is electricity. So like we talked about before, depending on where you have this vibratory electricity flowing from, because we know that the vibratory electricity is coming from a field. And that field has both positive and negative powers or polarities. And those positive and negative polarities can be looked at as the devil and as God.
Right.
So that brain is what's filtering that. So it's just like that vehicle that you drive. If that vehicle ain't full of good gas, that's because that person owned it before, which was that spirit or that consciousness or that mind was inputting the wrong things into this car.
Interesting. Yeah. But so saying that, what do you call practice?
Okay, so I like where you're going with that because what do you call practice? Okay, audience, what he's kind of talking to me, and I understand because we kind of communicate. So the practice would be your meditation.
So you say any form of practice in the physical sense is meditation. So if I go out there and I pick up a basketball until I'm the #1 shooter, that's meditation.
It's a form of meditation, and you know it's meditation because you didn't do UC3 index finger when you made that 3-point shot. You just flowed through. You made a flow through. So in your meditation, which is controlling now this energetic field, which is related to your subconscious, when you get ready to make that jump shot, it comes natural, which is subconscious.
Yeah, because it is focus.
Because it is focus.
To make that shot, it's focus.
It's focus. No, it's focus on the practice. The practice is the focus.
That's true because it create that muscle memory. You get that muscle. You know how to make that shot. Now, once you done shot it enough, especially from that spot, you know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you said that, which is great because we really going here, audience, because now I don't even feel like we talking to the audience and we on live. You actually making me think a little further, like we might be sitting in the garage,
right?
You know, but when you said that the meditation is, and you related that to a practice, because I related that to a practice. You said practice, and I made me think of meditation. So when you said that to be a practice, that meditation can also be negative, which is negative talk, negative self-talk.
That's true.
So if you're doing a job wrong constantly, now you've practiced that subconsciously, and now you're doing it on autopilot. So that negative behavior that you're practicing is still a form of a meditation. You're just doing it in a negative way now that's tearing down your body. You didn't ruminate it, as they call it. So you might have ruminated on, and that's what the mind does, which is the ego part of the mind. The mind traps you into that past, or it pushes you and make that future anxious. Because the mind doesn't want to see itself existing without its full potential. So what I mean by that is that if I say that my mind, my personal mind, is not the all, my ego says, why not? Because I could now shut my ego down and make it work for me when I say that the mind of all is what's controlling my mind. So the ego does not want to be individualized. I mean, it doesn't want to be in totality. It wants to be individualized. So when you do anything towards the ego that makes you not the forerunner or not the ring bearer or not the king of what you're talking about, the ego says that no, I have to be the main subject. So that mind is also the ego.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's in harmony with the true source, which is the false light.
Okay, yeah,
So,
because all right, so you go in there. All right, so look, all right. So when it comes to the mind, because you asked me earlier, you said, what is the mind in you?
right.
And I said the mind is the spirit.
Okay.
I think when you talk about the mind, it is basically the ultimate controller. That's when I'm saying something in my head and I hear it. You know, it's where I'm thinking, all right, I'm about to cross them real quick, and then I'm gonna go left, and then I'm gonna score. You know, it's more of that controller that's trying to tell the body what to do outside of its programming, if that makes sense.
I got you a little bit. I got you even better. I want you to say it again. I want you to give that to me again. Because I want to really understand what you meant about. Go ahead, do it again with the basketball.
I'm saying that my mind is me, and that's the real version of me telling the body what to do outside the programming. Because the body really.
So what is the program? What is the program?
Whatever's been downloaded into the hardware. You see what I'm saying? So that's everything that has become a routine. The mind is the body would be like the body would say this. The body be like, man, I'm tired. I don't feel like going to the gym. But in my mind, I'm like, man, I need to go. I really need to go. I'm about to let.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that. Great, because I didn't want to think that you were saying that wrong, because I know you know. Okay, let's just do this real quick. What you just called the body is still the mind. That's the only distinction that I'll make.
Mm.
And why I'll make that distinction is because had you not clarified the routine of the mind, then I would have said that statement wouldn't have been completely correct, because the routine of the mind is the ego. And when you go with a flow without that mind telling you shoot an uppercut, because you don't shoot an uppercut, you flow. So if I'm cutting hair and I turn you around and you say, can you make my lining crispier on this side? I'm not gonna go take the liners, put it at point B, put it at point A. No, I'm just gonna start flowing from right to left to bring this into a harmony without my true intention being involved.
So the mind is the creativity.
Let me say it again. Let me say this again. Watch this.
Hold on, wait.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Because look, so it's a level, it's a power level in Dragon Ball Z. It's called Ultra Instinct.
Okay.
It's where you let go and
let
the body, they fight, but he's not thinking no more. He dodging everything. He can't be touched. Even his punches, he ain't even thinking about them no more. You know what I'm saying? So
guess what?
Yeah.
That's the mind.
But he gone. He ain't thinking about.
Okay, well, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Hermeticism. So that mind that you're explaining is the same mind that grows a flower. It's the same mind that rises the sun. So that Dragon Ball Z, when he let go, he let the mind of all take over.
Yeah. Now I'm with you on that. So
I don't want you to call that the body.
That's true. Because it's not. It's not. Yeah, that's true. I did say that wrong. But it's like complete let go, but it's now he's faster than his thoughts. He's not even, because he's not thinking.
Okay, I love it where you at, and
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad that I can interject because you're not forgetting. So that's meditation.
Mm,
How that is meditation is because when I'm doing my sequences of breathing, now this mind of mine shoots all of these clouds across the playing field. It's just these clouds are thoughts. Do this. Did you do this? Your back itching, your nose itching. So these clouds of thoughts is my mind.
mm.
But when I let that go, all of those thoughts just race and run. And now my true self awakens because I'm not bombarded by those thoughts. So my true self awakens in my meditation
Mm.
because now I can be a receiver of the information versus a dictator with my mind on
Mhm.
trying to capture these different thoughts. So the
Okay.
more you meditate, the more you're doing what the Dragon Ball Z did by releasing all of these thoughts or all of these egotistic ways, and you're allowing yourself to rise in power. But that's not yourself, meaning your ego. That's yourself, that's the collective with all. That's your true self.
Mm.
So when Dragon Ball Z was showing his true self, that's still the mind.
Mhm.
Why that's still the mind is because we was made in the likeness and image of the creator. So if we was made in the likeness and image of the creator, that means that the creator has a mind.
Type shit.
That energetic field that you call spirit, which spiros Greek energy, is a creative mind.
Mm.
It's consciously conscious of itself.
So when they got movies like where they take your consciousness out and put it in another body, what are they taking?
Okay, I love that. I love that. Okay, I love that. Okay, let's just back up with the brain itself, the organ. So the organ generates electricity with sodium and chloride, and it creates ions, and it's creating electricity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's creating electricity. That's an organ.
Mm-hmm.
That organ can exist because you putting the chemicals together, but consciousness does not exist
Mm-hmm.
because consciousness is spirit, and they can try to create an organ in a lab, but they can't put consciousness in it.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So what was your
So
say it again?
so they basically it's plenty
So
movies.
so so back up. So I got you. I got you.
It's plenty.
So it
Okay.
just was a movie or just was something that I just was reading when they said if you take the person's brain out
Mm-hmm.
and put it on another body, does its soul exist? So with
Yeah,
that,
yeah. So because it's I've seen movies where they said they took the consciousness now, not the brain, the consciousness, and then put it.
okay,
You
so
know
with
what I
that
mean?
being said,
Yeah.
humans were given a brain, which is the vehicle to hold the
Mhm.
consciousness in.
Right.
So on a physical level, how can I take something that's non-physical?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more so in the understanding of taking this physical organ, putting it in another body, and it's still creating electrical impulses, which is now attracting the same soul. This is a crazy question because they just kind of put it out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, so with that,
They get quantum with this shit.
right. So with that being said, it's kind of just to let y'all know, audience, we kind of going kind of, we flowing. So for me, I'm gonna do kind of like a brain fart on myself, and I'm gonna say that because of what I know, I'm gonna say that when you try to remove consciousness in a scientific way, when consciousness was not created according to that man's science, because it's still, I
Mm.
I truly think that you lose that consciousness. Why? Because that soul is connected to a consciousness, and that soul
Mhm.
does not have to carry over to that next body being, that body being a vehicle.
Right. So basically, what you saying is that that consciousness only move with the software. from the last body, but it don't move with the soul. I mean, the
Like
soul
once
don't
again,
know
you kind of you boy, we
where.
knocking down some trees because
Yeah.
we opening up a new can of worms, and I think that this is truly what you get when you start to awaken your own consciousness, because we're looking for answers that now have been talked about, because we're not the first one to think these thoughts, but we might be the first ones to verbalize. So with that being said, I truly believe that my soul is connected to a eternal consciousness, but it's also connected to me as a individual soul consciousness as well.
Yeah.
And I understand that consciousness can choose another body. So it chooses it unaware of this current egotistical mind. We're not aware of the choice of the body that we made, because we're blinded by this field that we calling it. We blinded by that. We blinded by the spiritual field, because once we look into the Akasha, that blinder is off now. So this soul, in my understanding, is the true vehicle going into is the true driver of the vehicles, which is the bodies that it goes into. So if you take this organ off and you just put it on another body, my soul has a consciousness that should have a conscious value to it to choose. This is all new thought for me as well.
Yeah, that's different.
I mean, you know, I'm just saying, because I'm glad that you kind of, because now you making me understand my own reincarnation differently, because in a Akasha, we learn and we read through books that you choose a body. So now that just gave me a deeper understanding of choosing a body, because you just said what science is trying to do. What if we take this man's brain off and put it on another body? Does his consciousness stay, which is what they call in the soul? Does it stay? I don't think it does. I think it has its own choice. So
okay.
yeah, I leave. Hey, that's a good one, man.
That's deep. So in a way, I'm looking at the consciousness like a form of, DNA.
Well, when you say DNA, what I've learned and what I've studied about,
your offspring had idiosyncrasies and shit.
That's straight animalistic.
You think
you
so?
have two dogs together and they making merles, man. They making dogs, man.
Yeah.
So a child is not necessarily the physical of that child is only animalistic. That's just transferring through what genetics.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, I mean, we're in agreement. I just think that when you were saying DNA connecting it to consciousness is different than facial features.
I ain't talking about. I said idiosyncrasies.
Okay,
So,
explain that. But
idiosyncrasies is basically you have ways of your parent. Like you can be a deadbeat, and your son will still grow up and still have like ways. It can be
I still think that's animalistic. I used to breed dogs, so
Yeah.
I can breed a couple curs together, and I can almost guarantee you the next dog will be a cur. But if I breed a grand champion with a grand champion, now I'm gonna sell these puppies as grand champions. However, that consciousness, I believe, or I'm coming to an understanding that has nothing to do with my physical features and my demeanor after a certain point. Now,
that's not what I'm saying though. An idiosyncrasy is not a physical feature.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying,
Yeah,
because I understand the idiosyncrasy. I just wanted you to explain it to me so I can
yeah.
understand. So an idiosyncrasy is like um my father was an alcoholic.
Not exactly.
Okay,
It
or
could be more.
idiosyncrasy.
It could be more like. It could be more like you you cross your legs a certain way when you sitting down watching a movie or some shit, or like a certain laugh, like characteristics of the person. Not
Mm.
it's more characteristics. Not
Okay,
you know what I mean.
so now you just brought me to a different understanding. So
Yeah.
let's stick with the characteristics. So you saying that these idiosyncrasies pass down in a form of like characteristics, right?
That's why
Okay,
like, you hear
okay,
mamas be like,
I
"You
like
just like your
that.
daddy." You
I
know what I'm
like
saying?
that. So watch this. I like
Yeah.
that. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like about that is that um per meaning through, sona meaning sound,
Mm-hmm.
ity being a verb, so that's personality. So if we equate characteristics as personality,
Yeah.
then that personality that I put in that child
Mm-hmm.
comes from that 0 to 7.
Mm.
Because prior to that personality that I put in that child through sound, there
Mm-hmm.
was another sound that brought this child into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And that sound was the holy sound that has nothing to do with the animalistic side of us. The animalistic side of us made the baby. It created the characteristics. Remember the dog. The dog is grooming the pup by biting it. He sees which one is the cur, which one is the alpha. You can't teach an alpha. The parent starts to see that through the way it moves, through the way it acts. So just like if I'm training my child, it hears me. Well, my mother told me she read to me while I was in the stomach. So, with that being said, that's through sound. That's creating a personality.
Mm-hmm.
But when I pass this form of this physical body, I don't have a personality.
Mm. he had me locked in. So.
Hey, Grind. Hey, look, hey, sir.
Oh, shit.
These are conversations for patronage.
Make sure y'all hit the
Patreon.
like button for us too, y'all. Hit that like button, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, this is a conversation for Patreon because with this being said, now I can actually pull books. I can show you where I'm getting this from. So it's a little bit different because right now, like I said, you made me feel like we was having a conversation in the garage. And I don't want to just talk to the audience the way I'm talking to you because now I'm throwing all of these understandings out that you have to be in vibration to understand it, or you actually
Yeah,
have to pick up the book.
yeah.
So we're
It
not.
is it is a lot of loopholes because people don't even understand what you. I don't think a lot of people will catch when you talk about with sound. You know, when we talk about, we know. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean everybody else. But yeah, that was deep. That was deep. You know what I'm saying? I can ponder that. My mainframe can go. I got it.
Well. Check this out. We're gonna make it where it ain't so deep.
Yeah.
Watch this. So we know that sound has a vibration,
Mm-hmm.
and how we know that is because they call this an eardrum,
Mm-hmm.
and it's making a beat, and it's creating this vibration that creates these electrical impulses that's giving us this words.
Yeah.
Because if words was words, everybody understand the same words. That's why they have vibration. Words are
Mm-hmm.
vibration.
Yeah, for sure.
So through this sound, we're sound waves. So we are sound.
Mm-hmm.
Without this sound or this talking, what would we be? We will only be an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So sound and who you are, your personality being sound is kind of easy for me to see how sound and personality goes together and how through sound we're made. It says in the Bible, the word made
That first it
everything
was the word.
form. Right. First
Mhm.
was the word. So the
Yeah.
word is sound, and
Yeah.
sound is vibration.
Hmm.
So when you talk about sound in a way that's universal, meaning that a lot of things are created through this sound, this light, this vibration, then
Hmm.
it kind of seems like it's tricky. But when you go down to just the root source of everything, we can see how sound, light, and vibration is the source of everything.
Let
So
me let me break it down to layman's terms for the
okay.
okay. So I want people to picture this. Picture a whole bunch of little nanobots. It's small by itself. Just a little piece of shit. Okay. And they all group together and form a body. And you hear all them little legs. And now they look like you.
Mm.
That's you. Physically.
I like that. I
You know what
like
I'm saying? Yeah, just for a picture. That's just for a picture.
I like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I ain't gonna even keep going deeper with that because that just
Yeah.
gave me a whole
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
revelation.
So that's what it looked like. That's what you really look like. You just a whole bunch of little atoms,
Cells, a little bit, yeah, exactly.
all just put
All
together.
clustered together.
But
Yeah.
if you vibrate high enough or AKA fast enough, you can even phase through what you deem to be solid or physical.
So that they call that kinetic energy, or when they have that gift
Mm-hmm.
of moving objects per se with
Yeah.
their mind. All
Mm-hmm.
they doing is basically rearranging the structure of the molecules, actually kind of becoming the molecules itself and moving.
Exactly.
So they kind of show that now in physics. They kind of showing how all of these different molecules form to make a structure when observed. I think we kind of talked about that before. When scientists observed these molecules going through slits,
Mm-hmm.
and they form straight lines in the slits.
Mm-hmm.
But the unobserved molecules was just going in undifferentiated way. They didn't have any form. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where you're going with the body. So without this body is just basically a vehicle which is created of the periodic table, which breaks
Yeah.
back down into forms.
It's too much shit that trick you, but people don't understand it's not tricking you. Okay? It's just like a car when it's going fast and the wheels spinning,
Mm,
like rims. They really going clockwise, but when they go past you, it look like it's going backwards. Like the rims going backwards. You ever
exactly.
seen that before? Yeah. That's just I'm just trying to give a little example so they can, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
just
No doubt about it.
a little breakdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this became something.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah.
definitely became something. It definitely became something.
For
I would
sure.
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I thought we was about to end the show. It's a great way to end the show,
Yeah. All right, well.
No, but before we end the show, I always got a good one for us. So you made me think when we talk to ourselves, when we talk about ourselves, when we start talking about meditation,
Mhm.
and the vibration.
Yeah,
So remember we said that the resistance in for electricity was OHM.
yeah.
So when the resistor is out of balance, when a circuit is in high resistance, it struggles to carry the current, right?
Yeah.
So you use an ohm resistor to equal out that current, right?
Hmm.
In meditation, there's a chant that everybody heard called Om. There's an Om chant
Hmm.
pronounced the same way.
Hmm.
That Om chant actually releases blockages in your electrical field, your electricity, that gives you these negative impulses in your brain.
Hmm.
So just like how scientific electricity has a resistance or resistor called ohm, we too have the same electrical device within us that can resist this negativity.
Mm.
So I just wanted to kind of relate those two together, you know, just to kind of show how meditation is a science and how that resistor in our body can actually create a homeostasis or harmony for us through meditation.
Right.
So yeah, that's just why I wanted to leave us with that, man, because you know, once again, we want to kind of give a breakdown on a general conversation and topics, but I also want to always lead the audience with the understanding that my work is to actually help me to continue to see, as well as you, Brian, and as well as the audience, to become self-realized, to understand who we are as divine beings.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a must need to know. And I wish
Right.
people would take it serious, man. Y'all just y'all lollygag through the world.
Well, what they taking serious when you say lollygag through the world is that they taking the world serious.
Yeah, that's it.
So the world taking the world serious is still taking the negative polarity or Satan serious.
You
So
think so?
you either feeding one or the other, you know.
I don't even think not most time I don't even think people take the damn world serious, man. They be laughing, playing too damn much, man.
Yeah. Okay.
TikTok, but you don't get mad at them putting stuff in your water.
Mm.
Come on, man.
Make me thirsty behind that one, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like for real. We out here. We in the trenches for real.
Yeah.
Everybody in the trenches.
Yeah, we out here, y'all. As long as we trapped in this body and this misunderstanding, we trapped in this mindset, we out here and we due for, you know, a reincarnation or whatever the case may be. Hopefully, you know, I ain't gonna go.
Yeah, nah, yeah. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say it now.
I ain't going there, man.
Man, for real, man.
But yeah, man. We on to the next, man. So I appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you having the channel. I appreciate you having me here, you know, once again. You know, I think Friday.
When he said you, y'all, he meant we.
Yes. We thank y'all, audience. We thank y'all. You know, I was just it kind of was downloaded into me. Probably was my brain. I don't know which one it was. It was the mind, or was it my mind, or was it something else? But what I was thinking was Financial Friday AI. Why I said AI is because what consciousness is AI? Is AI conscious? You know, or this is just a thought. You know,
AI becomes conscious when listen, when you know too many people's business, you gonna become conscious. Keep it real though.
Hey, I like that. Hey, I didn't say AI couldn't become conscious.
You know everybody business. You conscious.
So why won't you wake up to something, right?
I'm just saying. If I'm a computer and I'm getting this downloaded, everything downloaded into me, and then I get to see how people move, see how they react to things, see how they live, see how they treat themselves. How is it not conscious? And it's conscious enough to judge you and say, man, you ain't shit.
Okay, I like that. I like that level of consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, now watch this. Now I'm gonna say this for a future show.
All right now.
Because I love that idea of consciousness when it comes to AI. So audience, you know, y'all know where I head at, and you know where we're going with this sometime. What you thinking about over there, Grind? What you got?
I mean, because I be having stuff pulled up over here, all kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah, because I sparked one with you when I said the AI and the consciousness. So that's kind of like where I want to leave it at, man, because there's so much and so many different levels that I want to uncover, you know, with the audience, with you. You know, once again, audience, I'm gonna talk to you about that one off the show because I was about to blabber out something, you know, a nice little thing that we got going on. But for y'all, audience, you know, catch us in the future shows.
And y'all, make sure y'all come through, man. Hit the like button. It ain't hurting you to click the like button, man. Just click the like button. Hit the subscribe button. You come back. We love to have you, man. Friday got a $50 giveaway. All you got to do is hit my DM on Instagram and make sure that you like everything you see. I ain't got that many posts, so just put a heart on it. It ain't gonna kill you now. And right in my DM, say, give me mine. I'm gonna pick a random person and I'm gonna cash app it to you. I ain't doing no, you gotta fill out no forms and play no games, none of that. I'm gonna just send you $50 straight to your cash app, no problem.
I grind now. I'm not your accountant.
Yeah.
But with my numbers here, I'm glad you brought this up so we can talk about it with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So far, you didn't gave away $100.
I definitely did.
And why I'm gonna say that is because if you watched the last show and you gave the title, I'm gonna create these as one of the rules now.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched the last show and you gave the title, then we know where you got this $50 message from.
Exactly.
If you watch this show and you say the title, then we know where you got this $50 message from.
Exactly.
So 10 shows from now, and you talking about a $50 message, you ain't getting it. Because this was shows previously. So you have to watch it within a time frame. So I like the way you're going with this. Maybe this week, you didn't gave away so far 100, and then maybe the next week or so. But why I'm saying that once again is because me looking at money as a vehicle,
mm-hmm.
and me understanding the utilization of even $20. I want to say that by you giving that token of appreciation for coming through to the channel, the audience actually can use this for a progressive matter. You don't have to just use it to kind of like, get your hair done or add to your Jordans or whatever the case may be. You actually can add to your well-being, your life.
Yeah. And I ain't getting paid nothing for this.
Hey, right. Hey, look.
You know what I'm saying? So appreciate me appreciating you, goddamn.
That's
and
right. That's right. That's right. And so thanks for that grind. And hey, if the numbers getting too high, man, I'm gonna start calling in myself and liking all the pictures. And I can use that, man.
I feel that.
Gas lately?
I can use it too. I'm just giving it away. Shit.
Yeah, I know that's right, man. And to add to that, I will call it a giveaway because you're giving it away, but I want to call it complimentary.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you complimenting them as they compliment you. So for doing a good deed and bringing information to the public that they might be hearing, might not be hearing, that's a good deed. And for them actually chiming in and relating our message to someone else or even putting it into their own program, I think that's complimentary. So that's a great way to work it, man. You giving it away, but it's compliments,
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. But all right, y'all. Peace and blessings.
Should I drop one before I leave, Tom?
Oh, you got to, man.
I'm gonna end it the same way I started.
All right. Peace.
Yeah. Bang.
When I think of you, my heart remembers
Yes, it does.
all the love we've ever had, all the love we've ever had, just me and you.
Damn.
When I think of you,
Who am I? Cause I know I ain't this body for real. Now that I'm in the physical, it's hard to describe me for real. Trying to remember, but my real self hiding for real. Where you at? Come talk to me. Give me my knowledge. Cause the real shit that I'm really supposed to know, it ain't buried in no college. It ain't buried in no book. I won't hear it from no scholar. Put me up into the astro and grab me by the collar and then speak it into my ear. Even if you gotta holler, I want the cheat codes for this shit. Like I'm playing Grand Theft Auto. Cause I'm tired of all the lessons. I'm tired of all the stressing. What's the point of being immortal if I'm always counting blessings? I'm done with all the extra testing. Shit, I'm trying to have fun, even if it's for a second. Give me a second. How dare I create myself outside of myself and still be myself? So my question is, what part of myself am I? Cause the thoughts that I be having running around in my mind, I don't think you motherfuckers really know God. Or do you? Or do you look in the mirror and be like, nigga, who you? Meditate, levitate, and see what you do. I need more people on this type of time, so I can get a blue clue. Running through this simulation, twisted off this juju. Forgetting that I am the only way, I'm going cuckoo. So who am I? I'm you, even you too. So if I'm you too. Quit falling for this foo-foo. No separation from the creation, just like voodoo. Chasing your tail, who knew? Thinking out loud, talking to myself. I know you're listening, you probably think I got a screw loose.